everyone, back with another Jurassic World review. Today we're going to be taking a look at two figures, the Jurassic World Dino Trackers, Danger Pack, Piatnitzkysaurus, and Xuanhanosaurus. And yes, those are a mouthful for sure. But yeah, we're going to take a look at both of these guys today. Recently found these at my local Walmart, part of the newest wave of the Danger Pack figures. I'm still on the lookout for the Tupandactylus. And by the look of these are really nice additions, really cool, obscure species introduced into the toy line, and just, brand new species to have in my collection altogether. And I'm really excited because I didn't really know about any of these until these toys were revealed. So I myself am getting educated by these new species. So briefly taking a look at the packaging here, the Piatnitzkysaurus is part of the jungle environment, as you can see here, and the Xuanhanosaurus is the mountain environment over there. So they're basically the same packaging, just different icons. And then on both of the packaging, they just have the list of all of the dinosaurs or the animals that you're getting in this new wave, because I already have the Nothosaurus, which is apparently another re-release, the Xuanhanosaurus, and then the Piatnitzkysaurus, and then I'm on the lookout for the Tupandactylus. So that's basically it for the packaging. We'll go ahead and jump right into the review. So here are both of their newer figures, and they look really nice. Like I said, it's nice to get obscure species in this line. You're being educated by these new species, and I didn't know any of these species existed until now. So these are really cool looking ones. And we'll just dive right in with the first one here. Here is the Piatnitzkysaurus, which I thought I was going to have a hard time pronouncing, but I kind of studied the name for a bit and found out it is Piatnitzkysaurus, which both of these guys, I don't even know exactly 100% what kind of family group they belong in. It could be just type of, megalosaur or some type of theropod dinosaur. Maybe Xuanhanosaurus is more on the Metriacanthosaur side. I can't tell. Some of these family trees are a little bit tricky to understand, but these are just plain, theropods in general. But taking a look at the Piatnitzkysaurus, this is a very interesting looking one. I really love the design. It does have a little bit of that Chatmay Animal Planet dinosaur sculpt design to it, which is really cool. I really enjoyed those. And just the overall look of this one, just very cool and very unique. I always thought this was going to be like some sort of Tyrannosaur because it's got the huge crest on its face, like a Gorgosaurus or something like that. But nope, it's got 3 fingers, so I didn't know what it was until the name drop of this animal. So taking a look at the head, very interesting head, especially with the mouth right here. Very interesting, almost kind of Tyrannosaur-like, but it's very more dramatic, I guess. But it looks really good, nice. I like all the bumpy scales it has on its face, like a really wrinkly, pebbly texture. The crests are nicely done. Now, I looked up this dinosaur on the internet, and it doesn't look exactly like this. I mean, the crest is a little bit dramatically oversized, but it does have like a little bit of a generic looking crest above its eyes. But these ones are sculpted very nicely. The teeth are nicely sculpted as well. The only thing I don't like is this little tooth right here is not painted unlike the other one, so that's kind of the only downside of this figure. And then here on the mouth, and when you open its mouth, it's a very unique looking shape, like the jaw's like really warped or kind of just bent in a weird way. Like the skull anatomy of this dinosaur is really weird, but it is cool looking though. Got some larger scales right there. The tongue and the inside of the mouth is nicely sculpted. Some nice sculpt work underneath there. And basically the entire body is made out of this really nice sculpt work. You got finer scales here, like around the neck, and then the arms, and then basically throughout the tail. But then on the side of the body here, you got larger scales, almost like a crocodilian looking patterning of scales right here, especially on the side of the leg here and on a little bit of the tail. So looking really nice. You got some cool looking spines and quills on the back of its head and a little bit on the throat area. And then you got a cool little sail or spine of spikes right here, which is very interesting but very cool. And then the arms are nicely sculpted as well on both sides, so very nice. And on the underside, just has more of the finer scale detail that kind of continues all the way down. Same with the legs, nicely sculpted, nice muscle definition. and the feet are nicely sculpted. I think I said this before, but a lot of Mattel's theropod dinosaurs for these Danger Pack figures are really, their feet are sculpted very nicely. They look just like theropod feet. They're a little bit more realistic. Some of the other ones they made back in the day were kind of weird looking, so I really do appreciate the newer sculpt in these dinosaur feet, which look really nice. As you can see on this one here, very, very nicely sculpted. I really like it. And there's the dew claw right there. But yeah, overall, the sculpt on this dinosaur is really well done. Mattel did a great job with this one for being a new species, and I really like the design of this one. Definitely fits the jungle environment, I'll tell you that. And then that pretty much leads us into color. The colors are nice. Like I said, fits the jungle environment. I really love like this dark green color, like pine green or whatever you want to call it, throughout this body. And I really love the light green stripes. Really contrast very well. And I like the red around the face, and the orange on the crest makes the crest stand out. Almost kind of gives me the idea that this could be a male because they have the bright colorful crests to attract females. Kind of disappointed they didn't color on both sides of the crest, but at least they focus on the outside part, which is kind of the more flashier point of view. And then the eyes are nicely painted too, with a nice yellow and black pupil. The teeth are nicely painted with a different shade of like a yellow rather than this lighter greenish color. And the mouth is painted except for the roof of the mouth, but that's to be expected. But it looks nice. I really wish maybe this lighter color could have continued maybe a little bit down, but for what it is, it works really well. And I don't think the toenails need to be painted because this dinosaur is kind of a darker color scheme anyway, so they kind of blend in. But everything about this one is really nice, and I'm really happy about this one. Articulation wise, like we saw, the jaw can open and close. The head here can go down about that far and up about that far, and it can rotate all the way around 360. So nice movement on the neck. The arms can move back and forth, just those two, and then the legs can move basically 360, which is pretty standard. And then the tail can also move, which is not really useful, but it's there. And then you got the DNA scan code, which I almost forgot. It's right here in case you guys need that. Overall, really impressed with this Piatnitzkysaurus. Now, taking a look at these Xuanhanosaurus, this one's looking really awesome. I love the feathering on this one. Looks really nice, just like the Piatnitzkysaurus. It's just another, generic looking theropod, and it looks really nice. Somewhat accurate, I would say. I mean, there isn't a lot of fossil evidence about this guy either, but I do know I don't think the real dinosaur had a crest in the middle of its head. I think if they took that out, then it would look somewhat more accurate, but it's a cool little touch right there. I mean, these are Jurassic Park dinosaurs. They're not necessarily full-on accurate anyway. But taking a look at the head, really nice looking head sculpt. Definitely less scales sculpted than the Piatnitzkysaurus. This one has more of like the sculpted line, wrinkly skin texturing on it, which looks really nice. Kind of gives it like that leathery feel or look to it on the face here. You got some scales here on the lower jaw. The teeth are nicely painted. I love the narrow snout of this theropod, kind of generic, but it's really nice. And then on the other side, more like that line sculpt work. The crest is nicely sculpted as well. Moving on to the neck, you got some more wrinkle texturing on the neck, and some nice feathers sculpted right here, which are looking great. They feel really nice too. I really love how Mattel is giving more feathers to their dinosaurs. It's like post Dominion, all the dinosaurs have feathers now, I guess, which is really cool. I really do like how Mattel's adding more feathers, because all the toys that came out, like literally before Dominion, very few dinosaurs came out with feathers. Like, it wasn't much of a thing with these toys, and now all of a sudden they're just exploding with feathers all over their models, which is really cool. And then here on the body, it's more like this wrinkly skin texture, but you get some patches of scales in certain areas of the body. Like, you got some right here, like a clump of them there, a clump of them here, and a few clumps here on the tail, which is very interesting, very unique design choice. The arms are nicely sculpted too. nice fingers, nice feathering on the arms as well. And you got some nice feathers sculpted on the back right here, which are looking nice. And then here on the leg, nicely sculpted with some nice detail. So Mattel put a lot of work into these little figures, and the feet are nicely sculpted as well. And then, you know, just some more smoother texturing all over the underside of the animal. And then a little bit on the top. You can see more of the line work and then just a few clumps of pebble scales across the body, which make it look really nice. And moving on to colors, because the sculpt is already great. The colors are really nice. They definitely fit the mountain environment very well. I really love how the main body of the dinosaur is like this whitish gray color, and only the feathers are painted brown. That makes it fit perfect, and they kind of complement each other very well. I really wish that maybe this part of the skin of the neck was still white and they just kept the feathers brown. I think it would have made everything flow very good. Same with the arms here. I really wish these were all white too and just keep the feathers brown. I think it would have worked perfect. And you got some cool black, you know, coloration on the snout here underneath the eye, which looks really cool. And then on the crest here. Really wish maybe they could have applied that black to like the fingernails or the toenails, but that's okay. Teeth are nicely painted, and same with the inside of the mouth. So overall, the paint is really nice on this Xuanhanosaurus, and I'm very, very pleased with it. One of the best paint jobs I've seen on a smaller figure, which a lot of them are good, but I like the way how the feathers are just colored and the body's just like a plain color. Makes the feathers stand out. Articulation, the jaw can go open and close like that, for lack of a better term, and the head can go down about that far and up about that far, and it can also rotate all the way around, and each arm can go forwards and backwards, and same with the legs, kind of like in a 360 movement. And then you got a rotation in the tail as well, and then here is the scan code hidden in the feathers up here, which is looking great. So yeah, that's basically it for the basic overview of these figures. Now we're going to get into size comparisons. Here is the human figure. Here is Dr. Alan Grant compared next to him, and they scale very nicely. I'm not too familiar with the sizes of these two dinosaurs in real life, but to me, considering that they are part of this size range, they're probably smaller or medium-sized theropods, so I think this scales very nicely together. Next, here we have just another danger pack dinosaur, because I don't really know what kind of dinosaurs to bring in for this, but here's the Dilophosaurus, and they scale very nicely. And then last but not least, only because maybe these guys are somewhat related, but here is the Piatnitzkysaurus here in the back, and this one can't really stand, but here it is. You know, definitely a larger dinosaur species, but they look really cool together. Can't wait to get the Hammond collection Piatnitzkysaurus. Alrighty, so that's about to wrap it up for this review. For my final thoughts, I really love these figures. I love how they're just new and obscure species that I've never heard of, and they're greatly sculpted, nicely painted, great articulation as usual, but just overall great additions to the Jurassic Park / dinosaur collection, and I highly recommend them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.